Vande Mataram, everyone. Ma'am Anjali Jaipuria is an educationalist with a vision of fundamental change in the Indian educational system. She combines her love for Vedic wisdom and its relationship with the needs of economic, social, and political conditions of today, creating contemporary learning materials. She studies Sri Aurobindo's and the Mother's evolutionary work, internal yoga, and educational reform, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. She has been teaching the Bhagavad Gita in the light of Sri Aurobindo to a group of aspirants since 2015. In 2010, Ma'am started Navsrijan to fulfill her dream of giving equal education for all children. This initiative runs besides the RTE mandate of government for the mainstream school. Ma'am has been conferred with the following awards: School Excellence Leadership Award 2017, second best school in Uttar Pradesh 2017, among top 50 schools in India 2016, India's best school 2016, best school award 2015. Though the list of papers published and lectures delivered by Ma'am is quite long, but to name a few are on the divine feminine Shakti of GPIW Summit Jaipur, who is Mother India at Rotary Club Mumbai 2013, on evolution at Ramjas School, New Delhi 2012, on harmonizing religions, Monastery Taiwan 2010, on Sri Aurobindo and Indian nationalism at a national seminar on philosophy of Indian nationalism and value oriented education, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, 2003. We are honored to have you amongst us, ma'am, and we are looking forward to your insightful talk on the journey from Karm to Karma.
Thank you. Oh, good morning, dear children. Vande. Okay, so today we've already heard Sushrut Bhaiya. So beautifully he answered all the multiple questions that you children have. Hats off to the questions that you all have, the deepness, the depth of your questions, and the depth of Sushrut Bhaiya's answers. We are looking forward to the other two sessions of yours. Really looking forward. Now, my topic that has been given to me today is a journey from karma to karma yoga, right? So we have to understand first what is karma. Then we have to understand how does karma become karma yoga, right? So that is the journey that we are going to go through. And let me tell you at the outset that it will be a kind of a feeble attempt, because in 1.5 hours to explain such a difficult concept, but we'll try to make it as easy as possible. All right? So my paper is divided into the following 4 sections. You all can read? So first is Arjun's dilemma and the momentous question that he asked and Sri Krishna's answer. The second part of the paper is the definition of karma, definition of yoga, and karma yoga, right? Third part of the paper is preparation for karma yoga. Because before we enter into the 3 steps of karma yoga, we have to prepare for it. And the fourth part of the paper is karma yoga 3 steps. Now, thousands of years have passed. Thousands, maybe 10,000, maybe 15,000. It doesn't matter how many years. But so many years have passed since Sri Krishna gave his teaching to a perplexed and a confused Arjun. And Arjun got his answer right there in the middle of the battlefield. So does that mean that this Gita is an answer that can be taken only by Arjun, used only by Arjun in the battlefield of Mahabharata? No. Sushrut Bhaiya has given to us so many names of so many people down the eras who have all used the Bhagavad Gita and have found their answers. Similarly, even today, we find our answers in the Bhagavad Gita. But before we embark on it, we have to understand what was that question? that Arjun asked? What was the answer that Sri Krishna gave? Because there must be something perennial, something extraordinary about that question that Arjun asked. Because only a momentous question can elicit such a great answer. Sri Krishna could not give an answer in 1 line or 10 lines. ऐसा क्वेश्चन था कि श्री कृष्णा को पूरी भगवत गीता चांट करनी पड़ी. What a momentous question. I'll give you an example. I don't remember the exact year, but I think in 2002 maybe, my teacher, my friend, philosopher, guide, he never allowed me to call him my guru, Kirit Joshi ji, came to our school for a 5-day session. 5 days. He spoke on different topics. On one of the days, Taposh Bhaiya, he was Taposh Bose in grade 10 at that time. He asked a question. The question was so beautiful that Kirit Joshi ji said, such a question cannot be answered among all these questions. So for Taposh, I will stay 1 extra day and there will be 1 full session. And in a full session of 1.5 to 2.5 hours, I will answer Taposh's question. So importance of questions. Another thing Kirit uncle always told me was that if a question is asked by anybody, he used to do that with me. I had many questions when I used to go to him. His blessings that I could meet him. From 1995 till he left his body in 2014. If I had a question, it was answered that moment. That is the beauty of a great teacher. Yeah. So there must have been something perennial, something momentous about Arjun's question, right? And it is often said that people say that, Arey bhai, Arjun to, because of his affection for his brethren, because of his reverence for his teachers and grandsires and relatives, he was overcome by delusion and Arjun forgot his dharma as a Kshatriya. But I will take you through all his arguments for not fighting the war. I'll take you through each one of the arguments. Look at the arguments properly and closely. Do you feel through any one of the arguments that he had forgotten his dharma as a Kshatriya? Do you feel that? मेरे को बताना ज़रूर. ध्यान से सुनना. मुझे नहीं लगता कि Arjun had forgotten his dharma as a Kshatriya. उसका problem कुछ और था. वो भी हम discuss करेंगे. So, before we embark on the study of the Gita and Karma Yoga, it is that argument of Arjun that we need to study. That question which elicited such a momentous answer, the Gita itself through Sri Krishna. First, let us look at, which we mentioned in Sushrut Bhaiya's session also, what was Sri Krishna's aim? Why did he want Arjun to fight? Arjun didn't want to fight, he wanted to leave the battle. We could have saved the Mahabharata from happening. So many people we would have saved from dying. But still, Sri Krishna said, na, युद्ध करो. तो कुछ तो बहुत बड़ा aim होगा. And we must know that because people later on may tell you कि वाह, जब battle रोक सकते थे तब तो श्री कृष्ण ने battle कराई. So you must be able to tell them the reason why he asked Arjun to fight the battle. The answer is Sri Krishna's aim for the battle was Loka Sangraha. All of you say after me, Loka. What is the meaning of Loka Sangraha? Loka Sangraha means unification of mankind. Do you think the people would have been unified if there was no battle and Duryodhan and his brothers were ruling the kingdom? Would there have been unification or division? Division. So that is what Sri Krishna said. It's not right. Right? And now let us go through the arguments that Arjun gave for not fighting the battle. Right? And please analyze, had he forgotten his Kshatriya dharma? Or was he having some other problem? So now let us analyze Arjun ne kya arguments diye for not fighting the battle. The first argument he gave, he said that ordinarily the reason for fighting a battle is so that one can enjoy a kingdom. एकदम ठीक बोला ना, इसीलिए लोग लड़ते हैं ना कि हम किंगडम एंजॉय कर सकें, और they fight because they want personal happiness. But Arjun declares that I don't desire the kingdom, I don't desire personal happiness, so I have no motive for the war. Right? बाद में जब हम लोग कर्म योग के स्टेप्स करेंगे 1 2 3, तो इसको प्लीज ले आना अगर मैं भूल जाऊं, ये वाला पॉइंट अर्जुन का. राइट? ही इज सेइंग आई डोंट डिजायर पर्सनल हैप्पीनेस, एंड देन ही आर्ग्यूज फर्दर एंड ही सेज एनीवे, अगर हैप्पीनेस चाहिए तो फिर देन यू कैन बी हैप्पी ओनली इफ यू आर एबल टू शेयर दैट हैप्पीनेस विद योर ब्रेदरन, विद योर फ्रेंड्स. बट यहाँ तो इफ आई फाइट दिस बैटल, आई विल लूज ऑल माई ब्रेदरन. सारे मेरे कजन्स चले जाएंगे, दे विल ऑल डाई इन द बैटल. देन हाउ विल आई एंजॉय द हैप्पीनेस? तो एक तरफ से ही सेइंग आई डोंट वांट हैप्पीनेस, राइट? एंड एक तरफ क्या कह रहा है? हाउ कैन आई एंजॉय इफ ऑल माई ब्रेदरन आर गॉन? Isn't he a little confused? Very confused. And is he thinking about Lok Sangrah? Not in the least bit. Lok Sangrah is nowhere in his vicinity of thought. Then the second argument he says that Kauravas are very unjust people, right? They are blinded. What are they blinded with? Ignorance and greed. And they don't know what they are doing. But Shri Krishna, I am not blinded by ignorance and greed. I know very well what I am doing. So why should I commit a sin by killing all these brethren and my grandsire and my guru? Why should I go ahead and commit this sin? So, is he thinking about Loka Sangrah? Is he thinking about unification of mankind? What is he thinking about? I don't want to create a sin. अपने बारे में सोच रहा है, मेरे से कोई पाप ना हो जाए. Right? Now his third argument. In the third argument, he puts forward a very, very strong point. What does he say? He says that when this war will be fought, then large number of people will be killed. When large number of soldiers and men will be killed, what will happen to their wives? They will go wayward. What will happen to their families? So he says, कुल में धर्म का नाश हो जाएगा. सोशल सोसाइटी का वॉप एंड वेफ्ट खराब हो जाएगा. तो मैं कुल धर्म का नाश कैसे करूं? Does he remember लोक संग्रह? Is he thinking about लोक संग्रह? No. He is thinking about लोक संग्रह in the manner कि लोग मर जाएंगे तो क्या होगा? But is he thinking about the unification of people? He is not being able to. Has he forgotten his Kshatriya dharma? He has not forgotten his Kshatriya dharma. I'll tell you his question, then you will understand. So, what was that question that Arjun had, जिसके answer में Shri Krishna had to give the Bhagavad Gita as an answer? Arjun's momentous question, अब इस पे ध्यान देना बच्चों. Arjun's momentous question was, if I take part in such a sanguinary battle, if I take part in such a heinous battle, in such a bloody battle, can my karma still be divine? Can it be divya? Can my karma still be perfect, purna? Can my karma still be sinless, nishpap? You want to repeat the question so it goes into your mind and you remember it. Please repeat. If and what was Sri Krishna's answer? Sri Krishna's answer was, yes, even this karma, even this sanguinary battle, even this bloody karma can be divine, divya, perfect, purna, and sinless, nishpap, but only if it is done as an offering to the divine. If you do this karma as an offering in your Anjali, it is given to the divine without desire, without ego, as Karma Yoga. When does a karma become Karma Yoga? When the karma is done as an offering to God. Then you unify your karma with God. Then the karma becomes Karma Yoga. Then, with Gyan as its basis and Bhakti as its motive. Now I am going to keep silent. You all read it silently. Shri Krishna's answer. See, Shri Krishna, as the divine teacher, takes Arjun through the Bhagavad Gita. And what level of consciousness is he at present? He takes him from his present level of consciousness, which emanates from the egoistic and divisive mind. And he takes him to that consciousness where he becomes a willing instrument of divine action. That action which issues forth from God and is manifested through his human instrument. He makes him a perfect instrument of the divine will. You all are reading in your classrooms, what is the aim of life? Would you all want to say it to me? There is a that is where Shri Krishna takes Arjun. From this point where he is saying, अरे मैं फिर से पाप हो जाएगा, मैं hell में जाऊंगा. What is this मैं? Krishna is saying, what's wrong with you? What is this मैं? We are talking about the society at large. We are talking of humanity. We are talking of Loka Sangra. There is no मैं in this. This is what we read every day, 4 times or 5 times a day in our class. Let us read it silently, and one child can pick up their hand and say it on the mic.
The aim of life. There is a divine will that wants to manifest itself in physical life. Our aim is to discover that divine will and to work for its manifestation in physical life. The mother.
Right? Everybody's understood abhi tak? You've understood why Shri Krishna wanted the battle? If anybody tells you that Shri Krishna was a warmonger, please give them a befitting reply. Why Shri Krishna wanted the battle? If anybody tells you that Arjun forgot his Kshatriya dharma, please tell them Arjun did not forget his Kshatriya dharma. His problem was the problem of 2 dharmas. He thought it was his dharma to fight the battle as a Kshatriya. But he also saw that it was his dharma to save his brethren from being killed, his heart ka dharma. So between these 2 dharmas, he was having a problem which one to choose. It was not between adharma and dharma. He had not forgotten his duty as a Kshatriya. Will you remember that? Okay. Now today's topic is Karma Yoga. Our journey from Karma to Karma Yoga. The word Karma Yoga has 2 components, Karma and Yoga. So we have to understand the 2 words and then we have to join them together. Karma by itself simply means to act. आप डायरी में कुछ लिख रहे हैं, it's an act. You're attending the class today, the talk today, it's an act. But before listening to this talk today, you invited the mother, you invited God, and you said, I am offering this in an Anjali to you. I offer you this whole process of hearing and understanding. So your karma of attending this talk has become, why? Because you've done yuj. Who all know the meaning of yog? What does yog mean? To unite with the highest. So what have you done? You have invited God and you said, I remember you. I offer this hearing and understanding of Karma Yoga to you, and I invite you into this whole process of hearing and understanding. Remember, offer, invite. 3-second magic. Remember, offer, invite, right? This is what turns an ordinary karma into karma yoga, right? Now, we would think, अब कल हम लोगों ने संपत जी को परसों सुना, कल सुना, कितने नॉलेज वेद की, उपनिषद की उन्होंने दी. क्या वो ओनली साइंस था, खाली नॉलेज थी? नहीं. Together with the science, the knowledge, he gave us the technology also. Our literature, our ancients have not given us only science. They have also given us the technology of actually bringing it into our physical life. Everywhere when Sampaji spoke, he gave us a method. Ye karo, ye karo, ye karo. Then you can actually implement this in your life, right? How many things we noted down? The object of yoga kya hai? The object of joining with God kya hai? Is that even while we are doing our actions, we may become liberated. Liberated from what do we want we want liberation? Do we want liberation from this life? From the cycle of death and birth? No. We want liberation from our lower nature. That is what Sri Krishna tells us in the Gita, that we need to be liberated from our lower nature. And what nature do we have to come to? The divine nature. He uses the word sadharmya. He uses the word sadharmya twice. Become my-natured, right? And thus become conscious instruments of His will. Through what? Through this physical body, through this vital emotional body, through this mental body. All these three instruments have to become pure instruments of Divine's will. जो उनकी will है, वो हमारे through हो, it should come through my physical body, through my emotional body, through my physical body, without any corruption, without any deviation because of our desires and our ego, right? That is the aim that he puts forward in the Gita. What are the instruments that we have? And how do we turn them into yoga? This is what we have to understand. When we connect with the divine through the instrument of our knowledge, right? Through the instrument of knowledge, we call it Jnana Yoga, right? Clear? When we unite with the divine through the instrument of our bhakti, through love, our heart, our vital being, and we love Him, we want to be closer and closer to the divine, then what is that yoga called? Bhakti Yoga, right? And when we unite with the divine through our willpower, हम लोगों ने कल बात करी थी ना परसों, संकल्प लेना है, through our karma, through our actions, then it is called Karma Yoga. Can anybody tell me without looking at the board, what is Gyan Yoga? When we unite? Through the instrument of knowledge. When is it Bhakti Yoga? When we unite with the divine through the instrument of devotion, our heart, our vital being. And Karma Yoga is when we unite with the divine through the instrument of our willpower, our action, our physical body, right? So the Karma Yoga given by Sri Krishna as an answer to Arjun's dilemma can be analyzed as consisting of, what did I tell you, how many steps? 3 steps. But before going to the 3 steps, we have to first prepare ourselves. हम उसके अधिकारी तो बने, उसके अधिकारी बनने के लिए there are 4 steps for the preparation of Karma Yoga. Are you all ready to be prepared for Karma Yoga? Yes. Who all want to become real Karma Yogis of SMRJ? Yes. So अब बहुत ध्यान से सुनना है हमको. The 4 steps for the preparation that is needed to enter into the path of Karma Yoga. The first requisite on the path of Karma Yoga is to become constantly aware of the eternal presence, of God's presence within us. When Arjun was giving his 3 formidable reasons why he should not fight, did he even once mention God? इन ऑल द 3 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स याद करो, कोई में भी कहीं गॉड का मेंशन था, डिवाइन का मेंशन था, डिवाइन सिटिंग इनसाइड हिम, डिवाइन आउटसाइड, डिवाइन एवरीवेयर, कहीं मेंशन था? दैट इज व्हाई श्री कृष्णा चाइडेड हिम। कैसी बातें करते हो, बड़ी पांडित्य की बातें करते हो, पंडित बन रहे हो, मेरे को तो कोई हैप्पीनेस नहीं चाहिए, मैं तो विरक्त हो गया हूँ, भगवान के बारे में तो सोचा नहीं एक सेकंड भी, क्या विरक्त हो गया हूँ, राइट? He didn't even mention the presence of God in even one argument. Now, if we have an aspiration, a real aspiration, that all the time I want to be constantly in the presence of God, I should feel, experience the presence of God all the time, तब फिर मजा आए ना। अब एक बार आप बताओ, how many of us want that all the time, whatever I'm doing? We don't have to sit like this and dhyan the whole day. We don't have to. But whatever we are doing, if we can all the time be aware of His presence, isn't that a beautiful state of consciousness to be in? How many of us want that? कि हम हर समय we should be aware of His presence, और हम काम बाहर कर रहे हैं, but अंदर हम यहाँ से काम कर रहे हैं. How many of us want it? I तो want it. तो एक कहानी बताएं. So once a seeker, एक साधक, came to Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, हाँ, and requested him कि भाई स्वामी जी प्लीज़ 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 मुझे जैसे आपने विवेकानंद जी को दिखाया ना, वैसे मेरे को भी देवी माँ के दर्शन हो जाने चाहिए साक्षात. तो स्वामी रामकृष्ण परमहंस बोले हाँ हाँ श्योर, व्हाई नॉट. तो बोले हो जाएंगे. बोले चलो कल गंगा जी के पास मिलो. अब द साधक वॉज फीलिंग वेरी हैप्पी कि कल तो मेरा कुछ होने वाला है, अब देवी माँ के एकदम साक्षात दर्शन होने वाले. तो सवेरे सवेरे 4:30 बजे गंगा जी के स्टेप्स पे मिले. तो स्वामी जी ने बोला कि अब तुम एक डुबकी लगाओ. तो उन्होंने डुबकी लगाई. साधक ने जब उसे डुबकी लगाई तो स्वामी जी ने अपना हाथ से उसके सर को पानी के अंदर दबा दिया और दबा के रखा. अब वो छटपटाने लग गया, ऐसे ऐसे करने लग गया, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली ही कुडंट ब्रीथ. खूब छटपटा रहा था. फिर स्वामी जी ने हाथ छोड़ा, बाहर आ गया. तो बोला क्या कर रहे हैं स्वामी जी? देन श्री रामकृष्ण परमहंस सेड टू हिम, he said, when your aspiration to meet God within you becomes as strong as the desire that you had to breathe just now, then you will experience God. तो हमारा जो yeah, you can clap, I'm very happy. So what is the first requisite on the path? To be constantly aware of the divine's presence within us. Have you written it down, bachcho? Yes. You've understood that aspiration has to be burning within us, burning. That I really want to be in a constant touch with the divine. Now, what is the second requisite? Ye thoda difficult hai. The second requisite is to bring equanimity in our being. Who understands the word equanimity? थोड़ा difficult है, नया word है.
Equanimity means samta.
Samata, very good. So, second requisite to follow and be on the path of Karma Yoga is Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatvam or equanimity means to be equal. Equal in pleasure and pain, hot and cold, all circumstances of life. Whether the circumstance of life is giving me happiness or it is giving me sadness. एक दिन में equanimity नहीं आती है. Equanimity की भी stages होते हैं. तो someday we will do a session on equanimity, on the different stages of equanimity. Right? One of the Mahavakyas of the Bhagavad Gita of Sri Krishna is Samatvam Yog Uchyate. बोलिए हमारे पीछे. Samatvam Yog Uchyate. Now for 30 seconds meditate on these 3 words. Samatvam Yog Uchyate. Samatvam Yog Uchyate. Samatvam Yog uchyate. What does samatvam yoga uchyate mean? For it is equality that is yoga. It is equanimity that is yoga. Now, equanimity can sometimes lead to inefficiency. Does anybody understand that? कि इक्वानिमिटी इनएफिशिएंसी को कैसे ले जाएगा? कोई सोच के बताओ.
When we have samta in us, we are equal in all the pleasure and pain. Then we lose.
Bring it closer to your mic.
Ma'am, then we lose the will to do anything. Because if we do something, we are not feeling anything. So we take the meaning differently. We take it wrong and we lose the will to do anything and we become inefficient.
Very good. Excellent. Yes, ma'am.
मैम जब हमें ये रहेगा कि अच्छे में भी ठीक है बुरे में भी ठीक है तो सही है सब कुछ चलने दो
हाँ ये हो जाता है.
दिस काइंड ऑफ एटीट्यूड विल क्रीप इन अस.
वेरी गुड. सो श्री कृष्णा इज स्टेप्स अहेड ऑफ अस. तो उन्होंने उसी वाले वर्स में बोला समत्वम योग उच्यते, बट उन्होंने संग में बोला कि खाली इक्वानिमिटी से नहीं होगा, उसके साथ में हमें क्या चाहिए? योग कर्म सुकौशलम. ये समत्वम योग उच्यते का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप कर्म छोड़ दीजिए कि अब मैंने गिटार लेसन तो अटेंड कर दिया है. इफ़ आई कांट प्ले द गिटार दैट्स गॉड्स प्रॉब्लम. मैं तो अटेंड किया था ना क्लास. अरे भैया तुमने एफर्ट करी है? हैव यू डन योगा कर्म सुकौशलम? तुमने अपने कर्म को कुशलता से किया है? तो इसलिए खाली समत्वम नहीं. एक टीचर पढ़ा रही हैं, बोली मैं तो समत्व में आ चुकी हूँ, मैंने तो बता दिया, अब बच्चों को समझ आया नहीं आया डजंट मैटर. गलत. इसलिए द थर्ड रिक्विजिट ऑन दिस पाथ इज, व्हाट इज द थर्ड रिक्विजिट? योगः कर्मसु कौशलम. दिस इज अ मंत्र फॉर अस. लाइक समत्वम योग उच्यते इज अ मंत्र फॉर अस. योगः कर्मसु कौशलम. Who wants to explain this to me?
Ma'am, yoga karma sukaushalam here means that our each karma should have kaushalta, should have perfection in it.
Very beautiful. Because samatvam could have led to becoming lax in our karma, not becoming careful, not being kushal in our karma. So Shri Krishna says that the third requisite for the path of karma yoga is yoga karmasu kaushalam. अगर आपको योग करना है, अगर आपको मेरे से मिलना है, तो श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं अपने कर्मों में कुशलता लाओ. He knew that equanimity, if it is misunderstood, may lead us to imperfection, may lead us to inaction. Right? Now let us discuss some examples of kushalta. In the Bible there is a story. In the Bible there is a story of 7 girls in a village. Huh? Has anybody heard the story of these 7 girls in a village? No? So these 7 girls, all of them were not married. All of them wanted to get married. And all of them wanted to marry that most eligible bachelor in the village next door. They'd all heard कि ये तो सबसे eligible bachelor है. He has the best job. He is the most handsome. And we all want to get married to him. Now they heard that tomorrow we've heard that eligible bachelor is going to be passing through our village. So all the 7 girls said, आज तो मैं सज धज के विलेज के एंट्रेंस डोर पे खड़ी हो जाऊंगी, तो फिर अगर वो हमें देखेंगे, if he falls in love with my looks, then maybe he will choose me to get married to. Then all the 7 turned up in the entrance of the village. को आएगा तो दरवाजे से ही, गेट से ही. There is only one entrance. So all of them stood from the morning and they waited and waited. Their mothers bringing them little tiffin boxes. यहीं खा लो पर यहाँ से जाना मत. And then it became evening. When it became evening, they realized अब तो डार्क हो गया. उन दिनों बत्ती तो होती नहीं थी. तो फिर they ran home to get candles. कि if he comes, he shouldn't miss looking at our face, and they got candles. But one of them was very smart. In the morning only when she came, she thought of the plan for the full day. And she got a candle and a match box with her. So when the other girls went to get the candle, she quickly turned on her candle and stood again waiting. And as fate would have it, the eligible bachelor came in just that time when the 6 girls had gone. And the eligible bachelor saw this kushalta se bhari hui ladki with a beautiful face flickering in the light of that candle. And he just loved her. He said, what a beautiful face. She must be a beautiful soul. She must be a beautiful person. And he started talking to her. And he liked her mannerisms. He liked the way she answered his questions about the village, about her aim in life. And he decided to marry her. What do we see here? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. She who was well prepared for the circumstance could ride over the circumstance like a deft surfer rides over the waves. कभी देखा है surfing? देखा है? कोई ने देखा है? वीडियो में देखा है? So you see how he rides over the wave. If he is not prepared, then the wave will bring him down, right? Sachin Tendulkar, how he prepares to become a great batsman. He doesn't bother how many runs he has. What is he preparing for? To strike the ball in just the right manner. That is his preparation, not how many runs he makes. And effortlessly he has become the master blaster. And that's the name by which he is remembered and the world will remember him. Right? When do we face difficulties in life? We face difficulties in life when there is a disharmony between the situation that we are facing and our preparation for it. Now suppose Microsoft has come up with some new application and the student says, anyway I'm doing so well in my computer classes. I don't need to learn the new application, I'm fine. What will happen? He is not prepared. कुशलता के साथ उसने अपनी तैयारी नहीं करी है. और जब कुशलता से तैयारी नहीं करेगा तो he will have difficulty. काम चल जाएगा but he will not find success. Right? Another example, a student whose body feels little weak and lethargic. So you have sports in this school, you have athletics in the school, you have swimming in the school, you have so many ways to make your body strong. Huh? And this child says, अरे कैरम का भी तो चॉइस है, कैरम भी तो गेम है, वो भी तो एक स्पोर्ट है, हम बैठ के कैरम खेलेंगे. What is that child doing? Not using the facilities he's been given to skillfully make his body strong and healthy, right? So, yoga karmasu kaushalam. What was the first? To remember the divine at every moment, to be connected with the divine while we are working out, right? Second, samatvam yoga uchyate, have equanimity in my being. Third, yoga karmasu kaushalam. Now there's one more requisite that Sri Krishna gives. The fourth requisite that he gives for entering into the path of karma yoga is that all actions must be done under the jurisdiction of intelligent control. Where is the intelligence in our body? In our brain, in our mind. God has given us a higher mind where there is the faculty of discrimination. That faculty of discrimination is in the mind. Our physical body is by its nature tamasic. It is ignorant, it is lazy, it is tamasic. Our vital body is by its nature rajasic. And our mental body or the mental faculty is by its nature sattvic. Right, very good. And what does the sattvic mind have? It has the power of discrimination. Discrimination between right and wrong, good and bad. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says to Arjun, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo hya karmana. Who knows this verse? It's in the 2nd chapter. Very good. So 90% of translators in India have explained this wrong. They have said कि यहाँ पे नित्य जो word आता है ना, it means तुम्हारे नित्य कर्म तुम ठीक से करो, नहाना, धोना, पूजा करना. No, Here, niyatam means do controlled action. Action that has been put under the jurisdiction of the mind to be able to understand, discriminate right from wrong. This is the fourth requisite. See, we must get into the habit of remembering, offering, inviting. Remember, offer, invite, right? Then, when we remember, offer, invite, we have done the first step of remembering God. Then, in a state of equanimity, samatvam yoga uchyate. Then we refer the action to the mind, satvik. And with the full kushalta, we should do our work. This is the requisite for entering into Karma Yoga ke 3 steps. Right? Understood? You want to go through the 4 steps again? Firstly, become constantly and continuously aware of the divine's presence within us. Secondly, bring equanimity into your being. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Third requisite, achieve skill in works. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Fourth, do all actions under the jurisdiction of the intelligent control. Right? Niyatam kuru karmani. So after we've done these 4 requisites, we can enter into the 3 stages of Karma Yoga. Right? Are we all prepared to go deeper into the 3 stages? किसको किसको चाहिए कर्म योग के 3 steps? अब बहुत easy हो जाएगा after the 4 requisites. किसको किसको चाहिए? Great, perfect. 3 steps of Karma Yoga. Shri Krishna says that we have a right only to the action that we do, not to the fruit of the action. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have a right to action, but you don't have a right to the fruit of the action. But Shri Krishna is very clever. Like samatvam yoga uchyate के साथ उन्होंने क्या डाल दिया? योगा कर्मसु कौशलम. ऐसे यहाँ जब उन्होंने बोला कि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते माँ फलेषु कदाचन, कि भाई अगर फल की चिंता नहीं करेगा ये बंदा तो बोलेगा फिर हम कर्म क्यों करें? भाई जब हमें फल से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, हम तो कर्म फल के लिए कर रहे हैं, तो अगर हमारे को फल से मतलब ही नहीं है, फल ही नहीं चाहिए, तो हम कर्म भी नहीं करेंगे. तो बड़ी डेंजरस पॉसिबिलिटी हो जाती बाय गिविंग अवे द फल, बिकॉज द इंजन ऑफ एक्शन विल बिकम वीक अगर मोटिवेशन ऑफ डिजायर इज विड्रॉन. सो बिकॉज देन वी कैन से हम क्यों करें फल. इसलिए श्री कृष्णा इज वेरी क्लेवर. यू सी वेन एवर वी आर डूइंग एनी वर्क देर आर टू काइंड ऑफ एलिमेंट्स एट इट्स रूट. कोई भी काम कर रहे हैं, पहले है एक एक्टिविटी टू प्रोड्यूस अ रिजल्ट. राइट? हम यहाँ टॉक के लिए आए, तो ये हमने एक्टिविटी करी क्या रिजल्ट के लिए? कि हमें कर्मयोग समझ में आ जाए. राइट? एंड सेकेंडली क्या है कि देर इज अ फ्रूट विच इज प्रोड्यूस बाय द रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस एक्टिविटी. फ्रूट क्या है? कि हम कर्मयोग में अच्छा समझ जाएंगे, हम भी औरों को टॉक देंगे. तो श्री कृष्णा का मेथड ऑफ कर्मयोग इज कि उन्होंने दोनों को लूजन कर दिया. दोनों चीज, दोनों, देर आर 2 थिंग्स, द एक्टिविटी एंड द रिजल्ट. तो ही ट्राई टू लूजन बोथ. And what does he say? Now who will like to read this slide out?
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भू माते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि.
Very nice. Now you can read out the meaning, beta.
You have a right to action, but only to action, never to its fruits. Let not the fruits of your works be your motive, neither let there be in you any attachment to inactivity.
Got it? That Shri Krishna is saying that you have a right to action, but only to action, not to its fruits. But ऐसा ना हो कि अगर आपने fruits को छोड़ दिया तो आप action को भी छोड़ दो. So that there be no attachment to inactivity. So the first stage of Karma Yoga, Shri Krishna explains, is to be delivered from the attachment to the fruit of the action and to labor only for the sake of the work. Now, whether the result of one's actions are successful or unsuccessful or indifferent, they should not affect the stability of your consciousness. क्योंकि हमें याद है समत्वम योग उच्यते, right? This stability should always remain within you. And yoga karmasu kaushalam. Keep doing the work you're doing with perfect kushalta, as well as perfectly as you can do. So in the first step of Karma Yoga, what has he said to give up? The fruit of the action. Now see how clever he is. In the second stage of Karma Yoga, Sri Krishna replaces even the motive of desire for fruit. And he says that now even the action you have no right. What had we learned? Remember, offer, invite. इसका मतलब हमें action किसके लिए करना है? Divine के लिए करना है, तो action भी हमारा नहीं है. I am offering it to the divine and telling the divine, requesting the divine, आप हमारे अंदर आइए, आप हमारे through action करिए. That means even the action does not belong to us. We have to perform the action as an offering, as a self-offering to the divine, to whom the action really belongs. Right? अब आप बताओ, when the action is happening through you, where is the Shakti coming from? There is a divine Shakti that's working itself through us, right? So he's telling us to become aware of that Shakti which is being utilized by us for performing the action. Shri Krishna urges Arjun to surrender not only the fruits of his action, but also the work to the Lord of sacrifice. And what does he say? Does he say some actions you should offer, some you shouldn't? No. He says, Sarvam Kuru Karmani, all your actions. Even if you're going to do something wrong, you know कि हम गलत करने जा रहे हैं. हम फ्रेंड के साथ में कुछ गलत करने वाले हैं. हम उसकी सीक्रेट किसी और को बताने वाले हैं. हमें मालूम है हम गलत कर रहे हैं. पर हमसे नहीं रहा जा रहा, हम तो करेंगे ही करेंगे. तो he says, उस समय भी मुझे याद करो, मुझे ऑफर करो. Invite me to go and do that wrong work through you. बार बार जब हम कनेक्ट करेंगे तो हमारे अंदर का ये चैनल साफ होता चला जाएगा, क्लीन होता चला जाएगा. और द लॉर्ड विल स्टार्ट पोरिंग हिमसेल्फ थ्रू अस, एंड धीरे धीरे हमारे सारे कार्य निष्पाप हो जाएंगे. दैट्स व्हाट वी वांट ना. एंड यू सी, what is the biggest offering that who has done the biggest offering? The divine himself has done the biggest offering. Can somebody guess what is the biggest offering that the divine has done? गीता में उसके बारे में बताते हैं वो. Yes, my dear? What is? No? The biggest offering that God has done, much bigger than any offering that we can do. That when there was no time and there was no space and there was no universe, what did God do? God meditated on himself. And meditated on himself. Ritam cha satyam cha vidat tapsodhya jayata tato ratri jayata tatah samudro arnava. He himself became the universe. He became other than himself. Annasya chittam abhisancharenyam. He became other than himself. He became us. He became the imperfect us. And when he became the imperfect us, he realized कि अरे ये जो imperfect beings बन गए हैं, ये बिना मेरी perfection के कैसे evolve होएंगे? Then he became many in his perfect self. और आपके अंदर, मेरे अंदर जो soul है, वो God का perfect self है. वो उन्होंने हमारे अंदर plant कर दिया. अब अगर हम उस perfect self से बातें करेंगे, उसको invite करेंगे, तो ये imperfect self बार जब इनवाइट करेगा तो ये इम्परफेक्ट सेल्फ धीरे धीरे परफेक्ट होने लग जाएगा. और जब हम इनवाइट करें तो हमको क्या प्रेयर करनी है? इट्स अ मैजिक मंत्र. ओ लॉर्ड, लेट दाई विल बी डन, नॉट माइन. बोलो बच्चों संग में 3 बार. ओ लॉर्ड, लेट दाई विल बी डन, नॉट माइन. ओ लॉर्ड, लेट दाई विल बी डन, नॉट माइन. O Lord, let thy will be done, not mine. In all our movements, we prepare an altar of sacrifice. यहाँ पे sacrifice का altar बनाते हैं. कहाँ? Where the flame is. Within us there is this flame. And we declare to this flame within us what we desire, what we prefer. क्योंकि हमारे अभी भी preferences हैं. We can't say that we've gotten over our preferences. We are still in our limited vision, a limited consciousness. So we tell this flame, you know what? I'm sitting for the exam. I prepared as best as I could, but still there is a desire in me that I should top. So this desire, this result I'm not being able to give up. So I give this result to you. And my prayer is you make me top. This is my first prayer. But my final prayer is what? My final prayer is, let thy will be done, not mine. मैंने अपनी प्रेयर भी डाल दी. भाई मेरी प्रेयर है, अभी मेरे में प्रेफरेंस है. तो मैंने अपनी प्रेफरेंस भी आपको दे दी. आपको इनवाइट किया अपने प्रेफरेंसेस में. और फिर लास्ट में बोला, बट इन द एंड माई प्रेयर इज, लेट thy will be done, not mine. Right? Such a beautiful prayer it is, no? Do you all like it? Yes. You want to say it again? Yes. Oh Lord, thy will be. Oh Lord, thy. Oh Lord, right? फिर धीरे धीरे the sense of doership will go away from us. जब हम बार बार उनको बुलाएंगे, बार बार उनका एक्शन हमारे अंदर से इनवाइट करेंगे, धीरे धीरे the doership will go away. Someday, Pramini ma'am, we'll have a talk on Shakti. How Shakti is performing through us. And when we understand the role of Shakti, then that doership धीरे धीरे थोड़ी सी lose होने लगेगी. Right? Now, what is this soul or psychic being that you're seeing? It has been described in our Vedas, in our Upanishads. It is a white, cool flame which has no smoke. There is no smoke, and yet it's called a flame. Why is it called a flame? Because it is always going upwards. Urdhvagam, Urdhvagamini. It is always moving upwards, right? And what is the mission of this flame within us? We all have it within us. There is the soul within us, right? And what is the mission on earth of this flame? Is to take us gradually from our unconscious state to the state of experiencing the soul and experiencing the spontaneous flow of the divine work through our physical body, through our vital emotional body, through our mental body. That is the aim of this flame, this white, cool, smokeless flame within us. Should we all meditate on it for just 30 seconds? All of us. And when we keep offering all our thoughts, all our emotions, all our actions to the soul within us, gradually a constant hymn starts arising in our heart. It is the hymn of the Veda. And what is it? Idam namama. This is not mine. Idam namama. This is not mine. Remember what Sampatji had said? ईशावास्य का पहला वाला मंत्र क्या है? ईशावास्य मिदम सर्वम यत् किंच जगत्याम जगत तेन त्यक्तेन भुंजीथ मागृद कस्य स्विद्दनम. All this belongs to the divine. Let us go through the second step of Karma Yoga again. In the second step of Karma Yoga, Sri Krishna says, we do not have a right even to our actions. He says that all actions are beginning from him and are executed by his Shakti through us. It is his Shakti which is doing the action through us. So who would like to read out this mantra?
प्रकृते क्रियामाणानि गुणे गुणै कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्तामिति मन्यते.
Kartaham iti manyate. Right? What is the meaning? While the actions are being done entirely by Prakriti. कहाँ से हो रहा है? वो शक्ति आ रही है ना कहीं से. The action is being done entirely by Prakriti, by the modes of nature. He whose self is bewildered by egoism thinks that it is I which is doing them. अगर हम लोग सोचें कि ये जो spiritual retreat है तो हमने किया है, we'll be the biggest fools. There is something that the divine has planned. And he's using each one of us, each one of the teachers, Promini ma'am, me, Mona ma'am, all the students, that Prakriti is using us to get her work done. So none of us should think कि हम ही कर रहे हैं, right? One day we must discuss, Promini ma'am, we must discuss Shakti and her actions one day.
यत् करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्
फिर से
यत् करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
पढ़ दो बेटा.
Whatever you do, whatever you enjoy, whatever you sacrifice, whatever you give, whatever energy of tapasya of the soul's will or effort you put forth, make it an offering unto me.
Yes, put it in an Anjali and offer it to me. And where is he sitting? Right here within us, right? So, whether we are studying for an exam or going for a party, we must offer all our actions to the Divine who's sitting within us and invite him to perform the action through us. Imagine writing answers in an examination. अब सोचो वो एग्जाम का आंसर आप खुद लिख रहे हो या कृष्ण लिख रहे हैं या गॉड लिख रहे हैं या जीसस लिख रहे हैं जिसमें आपको विश्वास है. तो कौन बेटर लिखेगा? God will write better. How about inviting him? He's right there within us. है ना? So the yajna we've talked about, that God's biggest yajna has been done by God because he himself has, in his offering, he has become us. Now what should we do? There is a chakra that's going on. He has offered himself and become us. What should we do? We should offer whatever we are doing back to him. And then he gives to us and then we give back to him. And he says somewhere that those who stop this chakra, those who do not offer, they are stena, they are stealing, because they are not continuing that chakra of giving and receiving and giving and receiving, right? So important this chakra is. So in the third and final stage, Sri Krishna says that such a person who lives forever in the state of yujya, unified with the divine through all his karma, becomes a perfect instrument of the divine will gradually, dhire dhire. Such a person relinquishes or gives up all his dharmas to the divine and takes refuge in him and him alone. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam mokshayami. Yes, and moksha from what? Moksha from our lower nature so that we are able to reach our higher nature. Ye moksha from this life and circle of life and birth and death doesn't make sense. We are far. अभी कौन सा perfection मिला है? जब तक हम totally perfect नहीं हो जाएंगे, divine नहीं हो जाएंगे, कौन सा मोक्ष? Let us talk of moksha from our lower nature, right? So as a culmination of the second step, when we have created a room in our consciousness for the divine, यहाँ हमने उनके लिए जगह बना ली है, हाँ, by offering all our thoughts, mental being, all our emotions, our vital being, all our actions, our physical being, the third step of Karma Yoga spontaneously starts happening through us. Yes, when the divine himself comes forward and manifests his own will and works it through our instrumentality and makes us his nimitta matram. Can we say this together? Nimitta matram. What is our aim? To become nimitta matram. Unke nimitta matra humko banna hai. What was the momentous question of Arjun? We are just going through it again. If I take part in such a sanguinary battle, can my karma still be divine, divya, perfect, purna, and sinless, nishpap? What was Sri Krishna's answer? Sri Krishna's answer was yes. Even this karma can be divine, divya, perfect, purna, and sinless, nishpap, but only if it is done as an offering to the divine without desire and ego, as karma yoga, with jnana as its basis and bhakti as its motive. The divine himself in the third stage starts acting through this instrument which is trying to become perfect, which has begun to perceive his doership, that he is doing the action. The instrument is now so surrendered that the divine works out his design, his will, divyam karma, through the instrumentality of the one who is totally and completely surrendered to him. This is the secret of Karma Yoga. And when one has attained to the third stage of Karma Yoga, we become the feather blown by the breath of the Lord. We become the bow, the perfect bow, through whom the Lord shoots the arrows of his divine will. We become the flute through whom he plays his divine music. Let us read together again and contemplate on the Mother's words for the aim of our life. Let's read together. There is a divine will that wants to manifest itself in physical life. Our aim is to discover that divine will and to work for its manifestation in physical life. The Mother. Thank you. So if there are any questions, please go ahead.
Ma'am, my question is, does non-living things also have the divine inside them?
See, there is only one substance. There aren't two substances. So the divine has become all. The divine first became the inconscient. When there was no matter, right? Then he put himself inside it in the form of his perfect being. And with the throbbing of the perfect being inside, because the perfect being was God, Purnamadaha Purnamidam. So that perfect being started throbbing. And from the inconscient came out matter. Is it possible? Became possible because the divine was planted inside the inconscient. तो उसमें से matter निकला. अब matter के अंदर भी that divine being is still there. जो soul आपके अंदर है, वो सब जगह है. तो वो soul उस matter के अंदर throb. There is something more. There is more evolution. It whispers. उस whispering से फिर वो matter के अंदर से trees, vegetation, plant life, animal life, fish life, all that. And then evolution, the ape man, the barbarian, then the human, and then all of you beautiful children, sun-eyed children of a marvelous dawn. Look at yourself. See how much evolution has taken place, and much more is yet to be done.
Ma'am, but what about the non-living? They might have some kind of divine. As you said, the divine will, the God, he converted himself to the whole universe. So, ma'am, there might be something inside everything, every matter.
Yes, there is consciousness, but consciousness is at different levels. The consciousness within a table is much lesser. Sri Aurobindo says that even a rock which we are just kicking in around on the side of the road, even that rock has its consciousness. And that consciousness is spreading its consciousness, but to another extent, because it is much lesser in consciousness in evolution.
So there is some consciousness in everything.
Yes, that is why we should really respect everything. When we go home and we just throw our shoes open, that shoe also has consciousness. It has served you. For so many hours in the school, it has served you. Give it respect. Yes. Everything must be given respect. Everything there is a divine presence. Very good question.
Ma'am, in the PPT, there was a Arjun when he asked this momentous question that that in this sanguinary battle will my karma be divine, perfect? So and Lord Krishna answered that yes, but I couldn't understood how. Like if you are fighting a battle, you are killing numerous persons who are, and like in the battle also unarmed people are killed. So how can that act be perfect and divine?
Okay. So tell me today that the Pakistanis came and brutally killed so many people in Pahalgam. So should we have sat down ki we can't kill their soldiers, they will be dead, their family will suffer. Should we have attacked them, or we should have just kept quiet like we kept quiet when they came and attacked us in Mumbai, when they came and attacked the parliament building? We should have just kept quiet, na? And they should go on coming and attack. What should we do?
We should attack.
For Lokasangra, for unification of mankind, the right must rule. The right must become strong. Right is not just to sit quietly and suffer. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's very important. What is your second house? First is wisdom. Second is strength. Mahakali. Mahakali is within us. उनको बैठा के दबा के रखेंगे चूड़ियां पहना के नहीं गलत के अगेंस्ट हम we will rise against the wrong, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And because the karma that was being done by Arjun was the karma that was the divine's will. Shri Krishna was saying, कर्ण को मारो. जब कर्ण को मारने के लिए उन्होंने बोला उठाओ अपना गांडीव, तो कर्ण ने बोला कि मैं तो निहत्ता हूँ, आप वेट करो. तो श्री कृष्ण ने बोला क्या हुआ था तुम्हारे इस थ्योरी को जब अभिमन्यु को मारा था? 7 people, अभिमन्यु निहत्ता था, 7 योद्धास killed him. तब तुम्हारा ये धर्म कहाँ गया था? राइट एंड रॉन्ग. एंड हमारे पास उनके पास तो श्री कृष्ण थे. और क्या श्री कृष्ण खाली अर्जुन के पास है? हम सबके पास श्री कृष्ण है कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
कहाँ है? कहाँ है?
Within us.
यस. जितनी बार बुलाओगे वो उतने क्लोज फ्रेंड बनेंगे. जितने क्लोज फ्रेंड बनेंगे उतनी वो हमसे बात करेंगे. जितनी वो बात करेंगे उतनी हम we will know what is the divine's will for us.
If Lord Krishna is within us, then why do some people tread on the wrong path?
Because God has become many and he had many possibilities within him. So one of the possibilities was to become other than himself. Annasya chittam abhisancharenyam. He became other than himself. These are all the multiple possibilities. The mother said that suppose you are here and suppose to become divine is here. She said to be attached, if you're following karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, then your path is different. But suppose you're doing none of these three, na karma yoga, na bhakti yoga, na jnana yoga, so your path will be circuitous. हम जाना यहाँ है, but path यूं यूं यूं, फिर कभी नीचे slip, यूं. So many janmas till we reach here. But the mother says, if you follow the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo, which includes Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of self-perfection, Sri Aurobindo has added to these 3 yogas, the yoga of self-perfection. Then she says, how will your path be? Who can guess? How will the path be? Yes, Karthik? Straight. You see they shake like an arrow. So which path do we want to take? The long circuitous path, falling down, going up, or the which path? Ritasya panthaha? Yeah. So okay, now let us all for just 10 seconds pray to the divine that keep me on the Ritasya panthaha. 10 seconds. You know why again and again I make you all pray together? Because a singular prayer is different, but a collective prayer has a great effect, great effect. Now, if India and Pakistan are going into battle, collectively we pray for India to go on the path of dharma and win. And when we do a collective prayer, that prayer has a great strength, right?
Everybody has a divine in him. And divine is perfect. Like I am also having divine in myself. You are also having. So, like, like, why divine is not directly making us perfect? Why we have to travel this much, that follow this, follow that? Why just didn't make that?
Very good question. Now, suppose I have this beautiful ring here. Okay. Now, I don't have value for it. है ना, दो और ring है, ये third भी है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Now, suppose I lose this ring. And then suppose I become in a state where I have nothing. Huh? Now that ring becomes more precious which I have lost. Then I make great effort कि वो होती तो मेरे ये difficult time में मेरे काम आती. Then I make great effort, more effort, and I find it. And it changes my life. So the joy of the ring will be when I just got it, यूं ही किसी ने दे दी, मैंने पहन ली. या जब मैंने effort करके उसको पाया और फिर उसको use किया. Which one will give me more joy? So that joy God wanted to give to us. The joy of becoming and progressing to become Sadharmya, becoming his nature after making all this effort through all the layers of our unconscious being. All the layers of unconsciousness we are tearing apart. We are transforming the lower vital into the higher vital, the lower physical into the higher physical. And then the joy, that progress का जो joy है ना, वो भगवान को हमें देना था. इसलिए he put us through this.
Ma'am, what was the point of the creation of the universe and so many celestial bodies and so much? Like, we're just a part of the universe. And I've understood, like, the aim of human life. But what was the purpose of the universe?
So, first of all, this whole universe, which is expanding galaxies, we don't know the end. It is eternal, infinite. From time immemorial to time immemorial. And the space is... Nobody has been able to come to the end of the universe. It is expanding galaxies. So this is a Leela of the divine. This is his Leela. And it is not that by doing this Leela he became happy. He is anyway happy because his nature is Sat, Chet. His nature is Anand. He is in Anand. So whether he would have done this Leela and become the universe or he would not have become the universe, he was in Anand. But he wanted that Anand to be experienced by us. By progressing, by making an effort, by doing tapasya, by offering to him, by moving from our lower nature to sadharmyam, to his dharma, to his nature, that progress, that joy he wanted us to experience. So we have to transform consciously. That is why our school is called the School of... It is for this reason.
In the silence time, when there is a divine will that wants to manifest itself in physical life. Why is it physical life? Why not just life?
Because we have to understand that what life are we in? This body is living what kind of a life? It's in the physical being. It is in the physical material being. And many of the saints before Sri Aurobindo and the mother would reach the divine through their meditation, not in the physical, but somewhere above. And they were so happy in their meditation there because they reached the golden light. Hiranyamayena patrena satyasya pita mukham. They reached the golden light. But then they preferred to stay there. But what about transformation of the physical life? If I just go into a meditation and stay there, I have not transformed the nature here. If we had the time, I would read out a poem, a sonnet written by Sri Aurobindo, if somebody can pull it out on their phone, The Self, by Sri Aurobindo. So there is this Swami who's reached the self. He can experience the static Brahman. Brahman, you know, Sri Aurobindo, Sampadanandji's talked about the Brahman, about God, who is inactive, who is everywhere. Absolutely, isme, sab jagah. But not the Brahman which is active, which has become Lavanya, which has become Pramini ma'am, which has become Anjali. He reached only the static Brahman. So he said, mere ko kya farak padta hai? And then he is shouting for food. Shouting, raging, mera khana kyun nahi aaya? Khane mein aisa kyun hai? Tattoo. So somebody said, Arey, ये क्या हो रहा है, आप तो सेज हो. बोले मैं सेज तो हूँ ही. I have reached that divine. But it is the hungry stomach which is shouting like that. It's not me. I am that. Understood? Isliye the physical life has to be changed. Got it? Should I read out the sonnet? It's a very funny sonnet. Sri Aurobindo had a lot of humor in his life. He said, we're talking about that Swami. He said, I am egoless, spiritual, free. Then swore because his dinner was not ready. I asked him why. He said, it is not me, but the belly's hungry God who gets unsteady. I asked him why. He said, it is his play. I am unmoved within, desireless, pure. I care not what may happen day by day. I questioned him, are you so very sure? He answered, I can understand your doubt, but to be free is all. It does not matter how you may kick and howl and rage and shout, making a row over your daily platter. To be aware of the self is liberty. Self I have got, and having self am free. So he had not transformed his physical. He had only in his mental plane, he had reached the divine. And that is not real liberty. Liberty is when we are liberated from our lower nature, right? That is why we have to bring the divine's will into the physical, this physical being.
My question is, if I have to take a decision and I'm not able to decide what path to choose, and I'm continuously trying to offer the decision to the divine, how will I know which decision God has chosen for me?
So that is why we have to use all these 4 requisites of the path. We have to go on offering, but we have to go on using these 4 requisites. We have to become equal, and we have to offer the question to the jurisdiction of the discriminating mind. And use the mind, but always in a state of offering. कि मैं ये चूज़ कर रही हूँ, मुझे नहीं मालूम आपकी विल क्या है, बट मैं आपको ऑफर कर रही हूँ बार बार, and whatever comes very strongly. All of us go through it. I go through it millions of times. I don't know. Both seem right and both seem wrong sometimes.
Yes.
So what should I do? And then I go on and on and on offering. Say that whatever is your will, let it come more strongly in me. But that jurisdiction of the discriminating mind must be applied there. We must have samatvam. We must do our action with full kushalta, yoga, karma, sukoshalam, and we should always be in touch with the divine within. When we are doing these 4 requisites and we are offering the fruit of the labor, the answer will come to us. All right?
Okay, ma'am. I wanted to recite my self-composed poem which I wrote last year. It is so relatable today.
Very good.
He was alone, totally alone. He enjoyed his own company, but gradually, bored, he had grown. Ekaki na ramte, he said. Eko ham bahusyama, he did spread. He is the Agni, we are the spark. He is the light, we are in dark. We separated from him under the contract we signed, reaching there again as our aim that ought to be in mind. But then we chose to be in the company of our own, and in this transcendence of his, we grew unknown. Ego, ignorance, and jealousy we became. Then conscious we grew within us the flame. 1, then 2, then 3, and consciousness grew and grew. They compassionate, who and why are we? This question in our minds they drew. No sooner we recognize the presence of this presence, the presence makes its presence felt. We are real. If the real has become real, then how can real be not real? No doubt we are imperfect, but we do have the perfect within us. What we need to do is remember him in whatever work you are doing, offer him whatever work you are doing and invite Him in whatever work you are doing, continuously, constantly, and consciously. The purpose of life is to become the feathers which are blown from the divine's breath, be that perfect bow through whom the divine may shoot the arrow of his will. सृष्टि तेरी रचना नहीं, अस्तित्व का तेरा विस्तार है, अग्नि बनने के सक्षम है, उस चिंगारी को याद दिलाना होगा, उस चिंगारी को याद दिलाना होगा.
Come on, stand up and clap for her. महक एक काम और करना.
Yes, ma'am.
आज का जो सत्र हुआ है उसके लिए भी पोयम बनाना जब आए. बैठो बेटा बैठो. Very beautiful. Very, 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 very beautiful.
I request Brahmini ji to get such poems pasted on the front walls, inside walls.
Yes, very beautiful. We must. और एक नहीं कितनी poems हैं इन लोग सबकी.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that in every session, we are told that the divine is within us. But ma'am, in Karma Yoga, why then it is necessary to invite God and offer God when it is already within us?
Good question. So the divine is within you, but how much do you remember him? When you're doing a work, when you're going to eat a pizza when your stomach is bad, or when you're playing a video game when you have to study for the exam tomorrow, how much are you remembering the divine? Are you in contact with the divine all the time? Has he become your continuous voice that you can hear clearly? So that is why, because you're not, because none of us are absolutely in touch with the divine all the time. So we go into this process of yat karoshi yadashnasi all the time. Whatever we are doing, धीरे 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 ये दोस्ती इतनी स्ट्रांग हो जाती है इस्टेब्लिश कि हम जो भी करने जा रहे हैं उनकी आवाज़ सुनती है और वो कर्म हमारे थ्रू डायरेक्टली निकलने लगता है. अर्जुन ने कितना ऑब्जेक्ट किया. अर्जुन वॉज द चोजन इंस्ट्रूमेंट बाय द डिवाइन, बट अर्जुन वॉज ऑब्जेक्टिंग, ये मैं कैसे करूँ, ये मैं कैसे. शुरू में तो बोला मैं बैटल ही नहीं करूँगा. इवन ही वॉज नॉट इन टच कंटिन्यूसली, जबकि हैड कृष्णा सिटिंग नेक्स्ट टू हिम. तो हम लोग तो भी बहुत दूर है ना. तो जब बार बार इनवाइट करेंगे तो हमारे उनके बीच में एक हॉटलाइन बन जाएगी. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर एमिंग एट.
Thank you.
Clear?
My question is that we all are like Arjunas and our guide is Shri Krishna. But Arjuna received his answers in the middle of battlefield in a very short period of time, as Shushu Bhaiya explained. But then why it takes lives and years for us to understand just a minor part of it?
It's not a minor part, it's a major part. And as I told you that we have become so far when God became the universe and he created time and space, and then he became other than himself, annasya chittam. He became very different from himself. Itna zyada farak ho gaye from God, then to become again God, that whole journey is so difficult, na? How can it be done like this? Arjun did not become completely. It was during that time he was turned into that. But after some time he told Shri Krishna कि वो गीता आपने सुनाई थी वो अब तो मैं भूल सा गया हूँ, आप मुझे फिर से वो गीता सुना देंगे. कुछ सालों बाद उन्होंने बोला. तो श्री कृष्ण ने बोला ना, उस समय जो मैंने गीता सुनाई थी उस समय तो मैं कोई और कॉन्शियसनेस में था. तो अब उस कॉन्शियसनेस को मेरे लिए लाना इज नॉट समथिंग दैट आई विल डू. पर फिर उन्होंने कुछ संपत जी से ही सुनी ये बात, संपत जी क्लियरली बता पाएंगे, अणु गीता या कुछ फिर उन्होंने सुनाई. आई थिंक सो, आई कुड बी रॉन्ग. सही है ना. फिर उन्होंने फिर एक अणु गीता सुनाई विच वॉज अ शॉर्टर फॉर्म ऑफ द गीता. आई थिंक वी शुड ऑल गेट द manuscript for it, and if it can be circulated among the children. But even I would like to read. So should be आप कर देंगे? Whenever you can find the Anu Gita, right? So it takes time because the work is long. The transformation is huge. From man animal to man human to man divine. Look at the vista, right?
Ma'am, in the preparation steps, ma'am, which you told us, ma'am, the second step is about equanimity. So, ma'am, if there's equanimity, so, ma'am, then, ma'am, the divine will go through us, ma'am, because, ma'am, ma'am, in a balance, ma'am, we're in equanimity. So, ma'am, shouldn't the divine will go at that time only, ma'am, because since we're equal.
बट इक्वानिमिटी है और अगर योगा कर्म से कौशलम नहीं है, कुशलता नहीं है, और अगर कुशलता है बट हमारे अंदर विजडम नहीं है, तो माने सब कुछ चाहिए ना. इसीलिए जो 4 रूप हैं माँ के, द डिवाइन शक्ति इज महेश्वरी विजडम, महाकाली स्ट्रेंथ, महालक्ष्मी हार्मनी, महासरस्वती परफेक्शन. जब ये चारों क्वालिटीज़ at the highest level आ जाएंगी, then the divine's will flow through us. We'll just become channels. वो फूकेंगे और हमारे अंदर से निकल जाएगा वो कर. But अभी बहुत preparation बाकी है. 30 seconds of silence and invitation to the divine.